Welcome to the last Money Tips podcast of 2024. How's the year been for you? Has it been a good year, an indifferent year, a bad year? And are you looking forward to next year? Well, I want to give you 7 powerful steps to transform your finances in 2025. And it's a great time this time of year to reflect on how things have been for you. So maybe check on your finances. Certainly in the UK, it's a time for a lot of people doing their tax returns. And then look forward to next year and plan how you can make things better, because there's always improvements that we can make, right? So let's look at some of the steps we can take. Well, first of all is to set clear financial goals. Now, goals are often talked about. It's more than a wish. A goal is more than a wish. Wishing for something like, oh, I wish I had a big car. I wish I was a Hollywood actor. Or do you go to acting classes? Have you tried anything? Well, no, I just wish I'd become an actor. Maybe I'll be discovered sometime. Yeah, right. So that's just a wish list. But a goal is setting clear financial goal, like in the financial terms, setting out what you want to achieve in the next year, maybe how much you want to earn, how much you want to save, maybe how much of your debt you want to reduce in the next year, maybe some new areas you want to look into, like stocks and shares or tracker funds or investing in gold and silver. These things you might want to have a study goal for, or learning more about finances. It can be simple things, but written down and then tracked and followed throughout the year so that you don't lose track of it. That is a clear financial goal, or a clear goal in any walk of life. It's just like going through the day and having a list of things to do. That's like a goal list, really. And then you tick off each one as you've done it. And if you go through a day where you don't have a list, like a Sunday, for instance, you can often think, well, what have I achieved today? So successful people I know, they always have a list of things to do. Even if it's a Sunday, they say, right, we're going here, we're going for lunch, we're doing this, we're going to the gym. And by writing them down, it crystallizes them, and you're more likely to achieve them, far more likely to achieve them if you've written them down. Even if you don't look at the list again, if you've written them down, you'll go back to that list and other times, yeah, I achieved all those things, but because you wrote them down. And a good time to do it is the day before, and in this case, the year before. You're planning ahead. You can have a yearly goal, a monthly goal, a daily goal, and even a 5, 10, 20-year goal. So that's very, very important. Number 2 then is to stop blowing it all away. What am I blowing it all away? I mean spending everything, just going on these spending sprees. I'm in American holiday at the moment, and I went down to the Disney area, Anaheim. I went into these stores there, and the spending there is like, it's like on another level. Not cheap, the stuff, hundreds of dollars, but people are buying stuff like there's no tomorrow. Oh, we haven't got any of that in stock, so well, can we get it? It's like they're just going crazy spending on. I know they're having fun. You say, well, it's Christmas time and all that sort of stuff, but the spending in the States is like, this is the mecca of consumerism and spending, and it's like that in the UK as well. There's always something there to take your money. Black Friday deals, this deal, that deal, January sales, or Valentine's Day, birthdays, Easter. They're always looking for some way of taking your money. Now, of course, you've got to live and you've got to spend things, but you've got to think about yourself. Where do you want to go? Does this fit in with my goals? And the way you can stop blowing it all away is, first of all, to create a budget for yourself. Start writing down all your spending and all your income, and where that money is going, all that's coming in and where it's going. Even if it's like a Starbucks or a sandwich, you write it down on an app, on a spreadsheet, or in a book, anything. But then you start to get control of your finances, and you start to see the patterns over the few months. I talk about this a lot on my webinar, which you see on a Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Join me for that. I'll give you some very useful tools and tips you can use to create those budgets. But definitely, if you don't get control of this, then you're just going to drift around, and you'll have some money sometimes, and other times you won't have money. So you've got to know. So if you want to save for something, save for it, but don't just say, well, I'll put it on my credit card and then we'll worry about it later. That's not fitting into a budget. Number 3 is to pay yourself first. Very old saying, this, pay yourself. Well, what does it mean? It means paying you. And that means not paying you and just spending it. It's paying yourself by putting that money into your future, your savings, your investments, before you pay everybody else. So this is where you would say automate your savings by setting aside a percentage of your income as soon as you're paid. Like on the day you're paid, you set aside that, and automatically goes out into that. And this ensures that your financial priorities come first, not last. And believe it or not, if you just put aside 10, 15% of your income into an S&P type of tracker fund, over time you will become wealthy, just doing that alone without being an investment expert. So do think about that. And if you don't do this, if you're not saving 10 to 20% of your income and living on the rest, then you won't be wealthy unless something magical happens. You win the lottery or something. You're just not going to make it on that basis. So do follow that. They're very simple steps. And I talk a lot about this on my courses, on my webinar. Number 3 is to reduce that debt. I'm not talking about your mortgage debt on your investment property. I'm talking about high interest debt such as credit cards, store cards, bank loans, that sort of thing. And that frees up more of your money for savings and investments. Consider the snowball effect of tackling debt. Consider a snowball running down a hill, how it gathers pace and it's getting bigger and bigger. That is your debt on your credit card. Similarly with your savings, if you're investing money early and leaving it for the long term, your savings are growing like a snowball coming down. You're using time and compound interest to your advantage, whereas the banks are using time and compound interest to their advantage to keep people, like enslaved in debt for the rest of their life. And of course, they're always saying like, oh, easy payments, easy credit. Well, that means just easy debt. Or buy this now on credit. I see ads in America, buy now, put $100 down, and get this and get that. It's very easy to do, but it takes a long time to pay back. So reduce that debt. Try and get rid of consumer debt altogether, and either do without or save until you can afford that 100-inch TV or whatever. Okay, number 5 is to invest wisely. 2025 is a great year now to start looking at new ways to invest, new opportunities in stocks, property, for instance. I don't know what your bag is, but I talk about all this on all these other types of investments on my courses. But you've got to look at something long term, something that you're going to put your money into, an asset, not just in the bank earning interest, which is lower than inflation. Consider inflation at 3 or 4%, or 10% if you really believe what's actually going on. That's reducing the buying power of your money by 10%, 5%, 3% each year. So you've got to be putting your money into an asset which tends to grow and keep pace with inflation over time. I'm not giving you advice here. You've got to learn this or take advice yourself, but invest wisely, have a diversified portfolio for the long term, and you will become wealthy over time. Number 6 is to boost your income. This is if you need to boost your income and you haven't quite got enough. Start a little side hustle, upskill yourself so you can earn more money. Maybe negotiate a raise with your boss if you are employed. Not by just saying, well, I need more money because Charles told me I need to get more money, but by saying, look, I can make this company more productive, or I can reduce the costs, or I can increase sales. This is what I can do. What can you do for me? I need more money. And then the boss will try and work with you. It's not going to work in every case. It might not work in a multinational, but you know what? You get the picture, right? If you work on yourself, if you upskill yourself, and if it's not working where you're working now, maybe get a new job and boost your income as much as possible in 2025. And that's not to say leave a job that you're happy in just to earn another 1,000 a year. No, to think about this, wisely. Look at the whole big picture here. And so that's boost your income. Number 7 is to reduce your taxes. Wealthy people minimize their taxes as much as possible legally. You can do the same, whether it's on your savings, your investments, or even your inheritance in the future. This is going to be done with proper planning and advice, and there's lots of ways of doing this. You don't need to keep paying taxes more than you need to, and that's a legal thing. Like landlords, for instance, have been hit with various tax increases in the last few years. You can reduce that, and I talk about there's a little video I've got on section 24. You can click on that link and watch that. So it's been an up and down year for everybody in terms of the world events, but you've got to look at your events and your economy, your economy, not the bigger economy. Of course, we've had government changes in the UK and America. A new government will come in. They might reduce taxes here, increase taxes there. They all need to pull in the same amount of money to cover the huge debts that they've got in their country's national debt. So we're all going to pay a bit more tax, but you've got to look at what you are doing. You are the difference, not the government. So you've got to row your own boat and think, well, whatever the government is doing in the next year, I've got to do this for myself and my family. So I wanted to say, finally, take control of your finances this year, get a grip of your finances, start investing for the long term. And I hope 2025 will be a great year for you. I'll just run through those final steps, those 7 steps once more. Set clear financial goals. Stop blowing it all away by creating a budget and sticking to it. Pay yourself first. Reduce debt. That's consumer debt. Invest wisely for the longer term. Boost your income and reduce your taxes. And finally, I wish you a happy new year, happy and prosperous new year. And I will see you again on the next episode. Thank you very much. This is Charles Kelly, Money Tips.